So we do have this to prove that we're friends with the Muppets. And you can tell, do you see how I look like I'm crying?
When we went to see Prince.
The prototype, we traded our jean jackets.
Let's go ahead and play Rock and Tell. Listen, Rock and Tell is like show and tell, but with cool rock music memorabilia. And I know you guys probably have a plethora of goodness. Obviously, we can see it just in the background. What do you got for me today?
Well, let's start with the jean jacket.
Okay.
Timothy and I met when we were 11 years old, and we both wore jean jackets at the time. And at the end of that fateful summer, we traded our jean jackets. And this one has belonged to Tim ever since, because it's got my little name Kulash in there. But my mom washed it first. I don't know if you can see that. My mom washed it first, and we had written the lyrics to, I mean, if you said cool rock and roll memorabilia, and I didn't realize we had to look for cool things, but we were really into.
You just brought junk. Great.
Yeah, no,
this isn't junk at all.
This is not junk. It's just, I'm not sure it's cool. We were really, really into jean jackets and Les Miserables.
The musical.
The musical. So it used to have the lyrics to "Stars in your multitude" written on the inside. Has to be counted, filling the darkness. So that's number one. This is the fabric of our friendship right here.
That's right.
Is it cotton?
Jean is always cotton, I think. Yes, it is. It is cotton.
Yeah. Okay, so that's item number one. Item number two. Hey, little buddy.
I don't have to say anything here, do I? Do you know, one time when we were doing a collaboration with the Muppets, Animal came to my house to play on my drum set. And when Animal comes to your house, he leaves feathers everywhere.
Everywhere.
And so I actually have a collection of animal feathers also, but I couldn't find them on short notice because I have to keep them in a very special vault. So we do have this to prove that we're friends with the Muppets. And you can tell, do you see how I look like I'm crying? I was a little bit. I was crying just a little bit.
He was verklempt.
Thank you, Tim. I was going to say, I think the word is verklempt.
Yeah, that's what that was.
That was before we had done any work with them. We were backstage at the Tonight Show, and the sign on the door said the Muppets, and I was like, that must be what they put up there on days when they're not using that dressing room. And then it was the Muppets.
Did you knock and like literally he was like, who is it?
You'd be surprised to hear this, but there was a human in there. And so I was like, can I, is this the Muppets? And he was like, yeah, hold on 1 second. And I went out of the room and I came back in the room and guess who was there? Kermit. You know what's amazing about the Muppets is because they are made by, because they're voiced by humans and because they're moved by humans, those humans have a memory of everything they've done. Like if you are a screenwriter for Superman, you just make Superman do whatever. But Kermit, there's only one person who plays Kermit. And so every time Kermit does anything, he remembers it. So like we then worked with him like 2 years after that photograph, and he remembered the whole thing and like had like funny jokes to say about it. Like they're real. They're as real can get. In fact, even more real because they're happier than we are.
They have split personalities. It's like a person that's having to deal with split personalities because they have to remember their own memories and Kermit's memories as well.
Well, and they have to remember when the cameras are rolling and when they aren't, because they also have a split personality, which is that same quick humor that they have on screen, they have off screen, but it is really not fit for families. Right. And it is so funny to be next to them when the camera's shut off because they get really delightfully foul.
That's great. All right, we are in the middle of Rock and Tell with the guys of OK Go. Item number 3.
Let's go with we got a kind of a collection of things here. We're going to go with, this is the prototype of a synthesizer that Korg built. They built an OK Go version of. So this is called the Volca sample, and this version came stocked with a whole bunch of samples that we specially made from our Hungry Ghosts album. And our friend who was a designer at, an instrument designer at Korg asked if he could do this OK Go version. And so he sent us this prototype for us to comment on, and I love it. I'm rarely in the design phase of an instrument, and I love this thing in ways you couldn't believe.
It's very cool.
This is what it looked like when it came out. Let me see if this one. I might have kept this one.
You can see it here.
Yeah, but there's colors on it, Tim. There's colors. There's amazing colors. Look at that. There it is.
There we
There.
go.
Look at that. That's what the finished version looks like. Ooh.
That's so awesome. Obviously, you're used to seeing your name, band name, OK Go, on merchandise, regular merchandise, T-shirts, and maybe skull caps and CDs. But
Our
seeing it
tracker
on
beaters.
gear and other items, does that kind of give you the warm fuzzies?
Yeah, it really does. The weird thing is that the individual, a moment like that makes me feel not like, it makes you feel like this long chunk of time actually has an identity that is stable. I know that's a really weird way to say it, but in your first couple of years as a band, if you stop writing or stop touring or stop running quickly, your band just literally stops existing. And it's amazing to me that this, when something like this happens, you're like, oh, we exist enough for people to plan on us being there tomorrow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. You've got a lot of gear behind you. Is there a guitar of significance that we should talk about back there? And also, you've won a lot of awards. Do you have any trophies I can look at?
We have a lot of awards, but they're all in a cabinet in their boxes.
This way you don't have to dust them as often.
Here's one, though. When we went to see Prince.
Ta-da.
Shut your faces.
This
Did
is
he give that to you or did you steal it?
No, I bought this from the merch booth.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, in a roundabout way, yes. He
gave us
wanted
the
us to get
opportunity
that.
to buy it.
Yeah, right.
It is definitely the most expensive tambourine I've ever bought. It sounds good, and it was at the Forum, I think, that one was, and it's a good tambourine.
You played that in our All Together Now.
I played that in our video for All Together Now, our recording and video for All Together Now, which came out, with the beginning of the pandemic.
Go right now on the spot. Go grab one guitar, bring it over, and tell me a story about it.
Boy, they all got stories. Yeah, sure. This one,
a happy story.
This is it's mostly happy. We were recording an album of OK Go covers. It was covers of OK Go by a trombone band called Bonorama in New Orleans. They make this incredible rock funk with like trombones and their bass is a tuba. So they basically played the music and I sang and we helped produce. And during a lunch break from the sessions, I went out to a pawn shop. I mean, not even a pawn shop, like a junk shop around the corner. And this guitar was in there. It was all rotted out because it had been in the flood in New Orleans. This all happened about a year after Katrina. And we were raising money. That record was to raise money for repatriating musicians back to New Orleans so that the people who had been sort of like scattered all over the world wouldn't lose that culture. And so I just got this thing because it was cheap and sort of weird. It looks like a Fender, but it's not. It kind of does, and it kind of doesn't. It has a Fender logo on it, but it's fake. And then I put some pickups in it, and it sounds unbelievably good. It's just made out of plywood, but maybe because it was soaked in the flood. I don't know. Whatever it is, it has this. It sounds. You basically can't help but sound like the Jackson 5. So
yeah,
anytime.
So many records of ours.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime you hear an OK Go thing that's like a kind of clean, sort of like chink, chink, chink sound, it's this guitar. Nothing else sounds like that.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for sharing all these items with us and just giving us the down low on everything that's been happening. As a little recap, tell me if I miss anything, but the latest single is All Together Now. The collaboration of the videos is Art Together Now. And OK Go Sandbox is where people can stalk you if they really want to get involved and get their hands on your music and do things educationally, right?
Yes. OK Go Sandbox is the educational site. OKGo.net is the rock and roll site. And you're correct on everything else.
Oh, thanks so much for hanging out with me today, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to see you.
Hey there. Thanks for watching Access TV. Subscribe, follow, like, and do all the good stuff. And make sure you leave a comment below. I don't know. Just let us know what your favorite Access TV show is, or who your favorite bands are, and what artists you're into, or just say hi, man. I like to be told hi. We love hearing from you. That's the point, all right? Keep it coming.